Fall at Equestria, The Crystal's Howling Dance. By Megaskullmon. Read by Forrest M. Chapter 20. The Stable opens.
Friendship started here.
Day 60. Close to Ponyville. It's taken 2 days to walk here. I looked up to see the battle that is close to starting in Everfree. I looked over to Ironclaw. He looks at me and nods. As we got closer to Ponyville, Ironclaw looked at me and put his claws on my shoulder.
"Are you sure about this?"
he asked with a worrying look in his eyes.
Yes, I am sure. Are you willing to vouch for me?
He nodded as we got to the bridge to get to Ponyville. A large group of hellhounds waited for us on the other side of the bridge. I walked calmly along with Ironclaw.
"Greetings, brother."
Ironclaw nodded.
"Thank you, brother. This is Taria, my friend. She's here to search for something. If you don't mind allowing the both of us to enter."
They looked towards me, and I just stared at them, and stood on the back of my paws and stood up. The hunch in my back made it hard to fully stand up.
"I may have some friends, ponies, but I refuse to buy everything ponies do and say. Only a few I agree to."
They looked to each other and whispered, then looked back to me.
"We need to speak to our leaders. If you wish, there is good food in the water here."
We gave a nod, and he walked off, leaving us with the guards. I sighed and looked to Ironclaw.
Shall we go eat whatever is in the water here?
He gave a nod, looking back to the guards, and the two of us walked to the water and looked into it. I lifted up my pistol and got ready to fire, but as I did, the blast from it hit the gator and it came out angry.
Well, Ironclaw, please, use your claws.
I nodded to him as he jumped on the back of the creature that tried to do death rolls to kill Ironclaw. I fired a few more times on the gator while Ironclaw stabbed into the chest of the large creature, and it laid there, dead. I pulled the creature over to me and grabbed a large knife, and Ironclaw started the fire. I cut it open and pulled the heart out.
I wonder. I read up that these can be used for potion making. Maybe we should give these organs to a zebra.
I set them down and cut out the meat. Normally, I would eat it raw, but oh well. I set the meat on a spit and moved it to cook. Looking to Ironclaw eat, I removed the meat from the spit and started eating as well. As I looked up, I blinked, seeing large Enclave ships flying towards Everfree.
Oh boy.
I noticed some Enclave soldiers flying down towards Ironclaw and I. For the moment, they seemed to look at us. Then, I spoke.
Fuck off,
I said to them. They stared at me. Ironclaw looked at me. I stood up and stared at them myself. I reached for my pistol calmly, staring intently at them, with great anger in my eyes. One of them spoke to me.
"You're holding my sister hostage, Wolf."
I smiled, showing my teeth.
Oh, so that mare is your sister. Don't worry, she's alive. I'm putting her to work to redeem herself from the shit your kind caused. I'm sure right now you want to come and attack me, but I am not a threat. Or does the great and mighty Enclave have a bad time handling someone that beat them? The Lightbringer, I'm sure, is beating you worse than I am. And taking her horn and fucking your ass with it.
I smirked. I could tell by how the male was flying, he wasn't happy.
Are you too scared to force your will on me, child?
Ironclaw watched me with an amusing look on his face.
Come on, come at me. Are you too scared to? I'm standing right here, mocking you like the worthless trash you are. Give me proof that you have balls. Or are you like every other villain in this world, full of empty threats?
I stared at them and grabbed my pistol and lifted it up to get ready to fire. They flew away as I lifted my pistol and fired the energy bullet that would hit the tail, causing a bit of burn to the armor.
Fine, run. I'm not even a threat to you, but someone that has beaten you like a red-headed stepfoal.
I sat back down and put the gun back in the holster and started to eat.
Well, that went well.
Ironclaw laughed.
Yes, I would say it did.
I looked towards him with a smile and went back to eating. I had enjoyed that. Hopefully I never have to run into them again. We ate the rest of the meat while I placed the drained organs in my bag to give to Kip. We went back to the bridge to wait. Then the guards came back.
You can come in, but if you touch anything, you will be sorry.
I gave a nod, and we were led to the leader. Ironclaw gave a bow to the leader. The leader growled softly as he spoke.
What brings you here, brother and sister?
I blinked at that sister.
I am not a hellhound, though.
The leader chuckles.
We saw how you handled those 2 ponies, so anyone who speaks that way to a pony and shoots them is all right in our eyes.
I smiled calmly and chuckled.
Well, being created by them during their little war, my kind are very anti-pony. I may have some pony friends, but the ones like the Enclave, no.
He gave a nod.
So, what brings you 2 here?
Ironclaw allowed me to speak.
Maybe to start a little trading. We have a place the 2 of us live at. But first, I'm here to find something. An item a pony warden left in one of the buildings here. It's a strange item to remove a seal from a stable. That is, in our home. I was told that it's in a building called Sugar Cube Corner.
The leader's eyes go wide. The guards drop their weapons for a moment in surprise, and the leader looks down.
Many of our kind have gone in there to try to make a home out of it, and never seen again. So, if you could go in there for us and find this thing, then, well, cleanse it. We would be glad to trade with you.
I gave a nod slowly and stood up, looking to Ironclaw.
Stay with them, Iron. I don't think it's wise for you to come with me.
Ironclaw nodded, giving a smile.
What building is Sugar Cube Corner?
The leader grunted, and a guard led me to the building. The rest of the building is boarded up, and locked there is a ladder leading up to the top. I looked to the guard, blinking.
That is the only way in, miss. Stay safe. If you see anyone alive in there, please bring them back to us.
I gave a nod and went up the ladder, getting inside the old building. I could smell decaying food. I took a breath and coughed a bit, but it didn't bother me so much. I looked through the desk and saw a photo of the ponies I was once told about. I stared at it a moment. These are the 6 mares that helped save the world? I set it back down and felt it was wise to leave it alone. I looked through the rest of the desk, finding nothing. Going through a closet, there were clothes hanging there, and I just blinked, looking to myself, wondering, why the hell do ponies wear clothing? Looking through it, I found a journal. I opened it up and read through. Damn, this mare is crazy, I thought to myself. And then I turned the page, and it said, I'm not crazy. I laughed. Right. I turned the page again. It said, I'm not crazy, Taria. You are. You're reading my journal. My eyes went wide, and I looked around, calmly feeling something evil is reading my mind at the moment. I turned to another page. It said, Why are you reading this? And for your information, Taria, we don't normally wear clothes. I spoke out loud, looking around if some pony else was here.
I am searching for something.
I turned the page. Then why are you reading this? Put it down now. Put it down now, or Celestia help you. I will wake up from the dead and haunt you. Ooh. I set it down, saying softly,
Okay, it's down on the floor.
The page turned as I read it. Good girl. Now, bye. My body had odd feelings as chills went down me. Oh, goddess, that was creepy. I brought out my gun, as I thought there was a ghost going down the stairs, seeing no bodies or anything else. I saw rotten food and looked around, seeing that no pony has been here for years. And of course, fate played a joke on me. The floor fell from under me, and I fell down harshly to the basement, and there was a slide as I fell on a pad and dust came up and I started coughing. I looked around and turned the light on my pit buck, seeing bodies of raiders and other ponies that tried to raid this place. Also, the missing hellhounds. Looking around calmly, my eyes tried to see what I could. I looked around and heard a turret starting up, and it started shooting at me. I got behind an old box as it stopped. I heard robotic hooves and something hovering. I lifted up my pistol and got ready to fire. A voice spoke.
Scanning complete. Pony blood found in invader. You may come in.
I blinked a moment, looking down at the raiders, who are ponies, and others who came down. I stood up and slowly walked in, seeing a large screen, looking to the buttons, and on the side, saw the password. Typing it in, I saw the screen light up and saw Pinkie Pie. The pink pony started to speak.
Ah, yes. Hello, Taria. Did you put down my journal?
I blinked and gulped, and she laughed like a crazy nut.
I'm sure you did. Now, I know why you're here. You are after the seal that the warden left here. But to get it, there is a price. I need a memory from you. A precious memory. True, I may never see it, but I need the most precious moment in your life. If it goes right, you will still remember, or you will forget. I'm sorry for this, but nothing is free.
I started to feel pain in my heart. I had to give up a memory? A memory that I could forget? She spoke again.
Now, I know this ain't going to be easy for you, Taria, but sometimes we have to give up something to protect those we love.
She looks down, tears falling from her eyes.
I wish I did that. Maybe she would still be friends with me. I am going to try to get her back.
It turned off, and I read when it was made. A day before the end. Tears fell from my eyes. So, she was going to fix her life, but she failed. I saw a strange device with a memory orb come out, and I closed my eyes and sat there, putting it on, to think back. Then, I found the memory. My friends, Silver Gunner, Fleur-de-Lis, Little Hoof, Little Strong Hoof the buffalo, Kipkipe, Shadow, Cannonball, Crow, Deep Thought, Iron Claw the hellhound, and Starshooter the little filly. The orb started to glow, and the memory was copied. And, just like that, I forgot them. I remembered why I was here, though. I looked back to the orb as I saw a door opening up to lead me through a hall. But I looked back to the orb. I started to have tears fall from my eyes. Why was I crying? I have a job to do. I went through the hall, remembering I fought the Enclave to save a little town. I got to the end and saw the seal. A photo of 6 mares in dresses. I read on the back, "Please protect this. This is what you gave up." I blinked. What did I give up? I left the room, putting the photo in my bag. I looked for a way out and saw a little wall open up and went through it. It led me out through the back. I headed back to the leader, but I heard a large explosion towards the battle that seemed to be getting worse. The Enclave and whoever they were attacking. I headed back to where the leader was.
I got it, and found no one alive down there.
The leader blinked and nodded. I looked to Ironclaw, who gave him a smile. I bowed my head to him and looked back to the leader.
All right, would you like to trade with my town now?
He nodded.
We shall. We will be there when it's safe to leave.
I nodded, heading out as Ironclaw followed me. I looked at him and blinked.
Are you one of the guards here leading me out, sir?
Ironclaw blinked, looking at me.
No. I came here with you.
I blinked, not sure.
All right, if you say so, sir.
Ironclaw looked worried and asked me a question.
So, how did you get it?
I looked over to Ironclaw.
How did I get what?
Ironclaw spoke softly.
The seal.
He said with a soft growl.
Oh, that. I was asked to give up something in some strange orb. I guess some memory. I was told I would either forget or keep it. No harm, Honor.
I said to him with a smile, and Ironclaw's eyes go wide. He stayed silent the rest of the way back. Day 62, Freedom Town. The two of us get back, and the gate opens up, and Kip comes over to hug me, and I blink at her.
Nice to meet you, miss. But I need to get going.
Kip blinks away tears in her eyes. Fleur came up to me and nuzzled and hugged me.
Yes. Nice to meet you, too. Please excuse me.
They all blinked, and I stopped a moment as the little filly runs to me, and I patted her head.
Nice to meet you.
She blinks, and I walk past her as I softly made out something Ironclaw said.
She gave up her memories of us in an orb.
I walked to the Steel Rangers and gave them the seal.
This is the last one.
She chanted the spell, and the seal broke, and a voice spoke in my head.
You give up your friends.
I felt something calling to me.
Come to me, child. You have freed me. Come to me and bring that orb.
I walked back out, and they were talking. I saw them all, even Sand. They watched me go to the orb. I brought it out of its case and went back into the stable. Sand, Crow, Kip, and Silvergunner followed me inside. I kept hearing the voice.
Come to me, child. Wake me. Release me. Come see the final product of the Iron Wolf Project. The reason why the crystal brought you here. The reason why you are here. The reason why your mother vanished.
I followed the long dead bodies of the former prisoners here. I don't know why, but if I had the memory I lost, this wouldn't be happening to me at the moment. I got closer to it. This wasn't a prison stable. It was meant to house something big. I got to what it was at the end. I read what it said on the black tube. Iron Wolf Project.
You were lied to, Taria. Your kind wasn't created to be protectors. Your kind was created to be my army, to take back our world from the unpure. Take the orb out of the case. The orb. The orb. That pure crystal that crashed here so long ago. A piece of the moon, you see. A piece of the real moon. Place it in the machine and let its power wake me.
I was about to, but Crow stopped me, grabbing my arm in his raven form and speaking.
Taria, don't. That orb is going to kill you.
I dropped the case, holding the orb in my other paw, and placed it in the machine. As he let me go, the others finally made it down. Kip, Shadow, Sand, Fleur, Ironclaw, and Silvergunner came down. The others stayed above till they got me back. I stood there and waited as the tube powered up. The orb started to dim a bit as the power was sucked from it. What came out was a large brain attached to a unicorn stallion. He had the body like me, a mix of a hybrid, but he was standing without the hunch. He stood right up like he was a pure being. Ironclaw spoke softly.
I will stay on the other side, just in case he finds a way through.
The others nodded to him, as he stayed on the other side, watching. He spoke out. His brain had blood vessels that moved every time he spoke, and he laughed softly.
I am free after all these years.
He looked to me and stroked my head as I was fully under his control. But Sand never was because he didn't touch the orb. He rushed to me and shook me. Daria, it's me. Please wake up. The large creature smashed him with a hoof and he went flying into the wall hard and fell to the ground out cold for the moment.
Silence. I hear you all. Your minds. Oh, the love, the friendship. This world was meant to be run without princesses, without harmony, without friendship. See, discord had it right. Harmony brought the end of the world. So did friendship.
Fleur tried to speak up.
That is not true. Friendship helped us. Friendship saved us. Silence!
He lifted up Fleur as she gasped, trying to use her magic to get away. But she couldn't. He brought her right to his eyes.
Friendship and harmony ruined this world.
He tossed her. As she was thrown out of the room, the door closed.
You don't need her lies. Don't need her lies.
Crow flew up and attacked the creature, trying to claw his eyes out. But with his mind, he grabbed Crow and stared at him.
A bug.
He tried to shatter every bone in his body. He screamed as Silvergunner charged and knocked him out. And Shadow had Chewer firing, trying to kill the creature. A bullet hit, but the wounds would heal. Crow panted and fell to the ground. A bag opened up that was set down, and Starshooter came out. Crow's eyes go wide, and went to the child, placing her back into the bag, and whispered,
Stay in there, little one.
He zipped it back up, but a bit, to let her breathe. He then turned into a large creature to help attack the unicorn. Kip was firing on him with her shotgun. The unicorn sighed, and the chewer was removed from Shadow's claws and tossed into the back. Kip's shotgun was tossed as well.
Ah, robot. You forgot those that you cared about. Remember.
Silvergunner screamed as the dent in his head vanished. He fell to the ground, looking at Remembrance. He went silent. Not even able to move, looking at the photo, saying no words. Then the creature lifted up Crow and brought him to him fully, as he forced him back into changeling form.
You're not pure.
He formed a spear from strange magic and stabbed it hard into the heart of the changeling, and he tosses Crow's body on the stairs as he died right there. Crow was dead. Kip's eyes go wide, and she charged in, anger in her hooves hitting the ground, as she was picked up and smashed hard on the stairs, her back legs broken. She was alive, but unconscious. Shadow's eyes go wide, watching his adopted sister get hurt.
I am going to kill you!
He charged, and before the creature could stop him, he clawed his face. It didn't heal. He stared at him. He laughed so strangely. Oh, good job, Griffin. You got me to bleed. I wonder. He used his magic to grab Shadow's wings and broke them. He screamed in pain and tossed Shadow to the ground and stomped on his chest, breaking a few ribs and knocking him out. He looked to see Sand wasn't still against the wall. Sand had started fighting him with so much anger in his heart.
Let go of my wife!
The creature laughed. You should be under my control. He tried to use it on Sand, but it took effort. Sand jumped around too much, like one of us was trained to do. Jump around and don't let them get a hit in. He clawed him a few times, even digging into the brain. Then he finally did it. He made a wrong step and got caught. He held Sand close to his eyes and stared at him. I can't have you trying to break through my slave. Die. He glowed as every bone in Sand's body started to break, and he screamed as he fell to the ground and tried to look to me, seeing me in his dying eyes.
I love you, Taria.
He died as the resistance that was my friends stayed there. Silver Gunner wouldn't even move. Shadow was broken, but alive. Kip was alive as well. Crow and Sand were dead. Fleur was thrown out of the room, and the door locked. He laughed and looked to me. It's time. Soon the others of your species will feel that I am awake, and then come in droves to bow to me. But then Starshooter poked her head out of the bag and trotted up, looking at Crow. I looked at her in this stupor, and I thought to myself, a little one? Seeing this? Why do I feel I know her? I looked to the bodies. I felt something come over me. I saw Sand's body. Why do I feel that I know him? I looked to Silver. Who is this? Then saw the little filly come to me, tapping my leg.
Taria?
She looked up to me with big eyes.
Please, why are they asleep and have red stuff coming out of them?
My eyes stared at her as the creature lifts her up.
Not pure.
He starts to try to hurt the little filly. Her little left leg cracks as her bone is broken, and she screams in pain, crying. Then, suddenly, I started to remember. It started coming back to me. I started to remember everything. I came out of the dream and looked at Starshooter. I gasped and smashed my paw into the face of the pony and caught Starshooter as she fell and she sobbed. I laid her by the bag, and my pistol fell out of the holster right beside her. I went to the creature, looking to Crow, and my heart broke. I closed my eyes and put my paws on him to shake him.
Crow! Crow!
I sobbed softly, looking to Sand, and my heart broke. I went to him, shaking him.
Sand! Sand!
I remember what he said now. Taria, I love you. I started sobbing hard and looked to Kip, and Shadow saw them both breathing. I looked to the creature, growling, and stood up fully.
Why? Why would you do all this? Why all this?
The creature smiles and laughs.
When Nightmare Moon was forced into the moon, a piece of the moon flew out and smashed into the ground. No pony even knew about this. 1,000 years ago, by the war slowly starting, no pony even knew about this 1,000 years ago. But the war slowly started, and in the mines it was found. All these you saw here are former creators. The one you met is the one that ran from here. He made your kind to fight me. But if any of your species hold the orb for a certain amount of time, I can control you. I was made to stop the war. But they needed the orb, and he stole it. I was held in here for 200 years, waiting. I spoke in the Steel Rangers' dead minds. Yes, those Steel Rangers are dead. I used them, and now they're on the ground outside, dead. I am pure. I am your god. I am the Iron Wolf Project. I closed my eyes and stared at my friends. I looked up to him again, feeling so much anger and rage building in my body. He hurt little Starshooter. He killed my mate, my friend. I was forced to forget because of this. Did Pinky
No? Did she know? My mind was full of many things. I went to Starshooter, picking her up, and hugged her. As I went to the door and tried to force it open, I saw a panel near it and opened it. As the creature kept speaking about how amazing he was, his brain seems to make him very easy to ignore. The door opens up, and Fleur is there with Ironclaw. I walk to them, giving them Starshooter.
Close the stable. Lock it. If I open it, then it's me. Keep it closed otherwise, to keep him out of the world. If I don't return, keep the town going.
Fleur nods. So does Ironclaw as he holds the little filly. I close the door back up, and he stops stroking his ego. Why are you ignoring me? I am your god. You should be worshipping me. I just stared at him with my eyes full of hate and anger. I picked up my pistol and put it in the holster and looked at him.
So, tell me, are you always this stupid?
He blinks, staring at me as I start to insult him.
Oh no, really. You have all these brains, and you say you're my god. But no, you aren't. You're just a pony. A pony that was put into an experiment to stop the war. I can see how it failed. Did you used to be one of those that thinks they're better than everyone else in the past? Did a mare ignore your want for sex? Did your mother never love you?
I smirked at this. He was growing very angry. Enough! How dare you insult me? I smiled as he grew even angrier. The stable started to shake.
I will insult you because it's so easy. You're a pony, a piece of worthless trash that is trying to be better than the rest of the world. Oh, please.
I spit on the ground and stared at him.
You ponies think you can control what you don't understand, just like the Enclave. The Enclave thinks they can control. They can hurt through force. I can tell you you're going through the same thing, child.
I gave him a smile, winking. He grew so angry I could see blood vessels popping, and he tossed out some magic lances at me, and I just watched him miss me from his anger.
Ha! My mother could aim better than you. Come on. You can do better, you fucking worthless pony. You prove everything I have said is right. Ponies of the past are trash. Only a few that are still alive are good enough.
I looked to Silvergunner, who just sat there, and I patted his head, and he looked at me.
Silver, fight with me.
He nodded and stood up, holding the shotgun.
Enough, pony. You have lost already. Do you want to remove friendship? Harmony? The Lightbringer proved that friendship and harmony still exist. You can't remove it. You can't destroy it. Even this battle for 200 years has proved it. I'm sure there are heroes going back to the end of the war to the now, trying their best to clean the world. Not all of them probably did it, though. Come on, pony. Listen. You can't just try to control me.
Silence! Silvergunner charged at him, and the pony tried to stop him, and he got a few bullets in his body, but he healed as he grabbed Silver with the magic and tossed him into the door. Silver stood back up, but got grabbed again and smashed over and over onto the floor and broken apart and tossed into a heap. I gasped, seeing Silver broken, but he looked at me and said, "Fight with your voice." I stood there and stared at the creature.
You think you can control what you want? Again, you are so easy to mock. You throw such cute, angry fits, child.
I smiled sweetly at him. Being warrior-like, I should insult and make fun of him.
Oh, please, you can't beat me.
I came towards him as he grew more angry and tried to attack. I just kept going as I got face to face with him, with a hunch in my back, and he started to get even more angry. He tried to hit me with me standing right in front of him, but I moved away a bit and laughed loudly. He used the magic to grab my neck and growled with so much anger. He started to slice me up with his magic, causing many wounds, and then dropped me to the ground and then stabbed me in my back as he tried so hard to kill me. I felt my body dying, and I knew if I died, my pup will die with me. The howling dance glowed brightly, and a light from it shined on my body. The mind.
You must fight, Taria.
I blinked, looking at the orb, and touched it, and it turned into the spirit of Luna. I blinked, staring at her.
Who are you?
The image of Luna looked at me and sighed, giving a smile.
I am a tear of the good that was in Luna. She went to darkness when she hit the moon as Nightmare Moon. A tear from the moon that held some of her hope and good heart allowed me to fall to earth. I'm sorry you had to go through all of this because of a tear, but I am not the real Luna. She is dead. I am what remains, and after this, she will be fully dead. You need to stand and fight. When you open your eyes, the howling dance will be a real crystal and only glow when the sun shines on it and cracks. Please, in the name of Luna, fight for her. I was forced back into my body, my pup alive thanks to this. Stable. I opened up my eyes, my body covered in wounds and blood. I slowly looked at those around me.
How are you still alive?
I sat there a moment at the stairs, seeing my dead mate again. Crow again. I softly spoke.
My time in the waste has made me learn the dead will rise again, even if they aren't really dead, and the waste made their will dead. They will fight on, like the dead they are. For I am one. My will died. The waste beat me. It beat me down. It molded me into what I am now. It hurt my heart. It broke my body. The golem used me to give it death and the blood it wanted.
I stood up and looked down.
I died when my pack tossed me out. I died when I touched the orb. I am already dead. If I give birth to my child, I will die. You killed my mate. She will be alone without parents, like most children in this world.
I looked up to him with my blue eyes glowing.
You can force me down. You can try to hurt me all you want. I have no element in my heart. All I am is a warrior that fights for honor. I may be remembered when I pass. I might not. If I am remembered, good. If I am not, and only for the things I did, then it doesn't bother me. I could be a mystery for all I care.
I grabbed my gun and lifted it out of the holster. I looked at the pistol that has been with me on this adventure. I looked to the creature.
I am going to end you in the name of my friends. If I die, I die. But it's to stop you.
I looked up to him, my eyes full of anger.
You say you're a god. Gods can die. For all gods in this world are dead.
I lifted up my pistol, getting ready to fire.
Die. Oh, God, die.
I fired at him as he started to attack me. I did my best to dodge and got hit by some of his magic attacks, groaning. I felt pain. I kept firing over and over, and as I did, the trigger was getting more and more overused. Some bullets hit him, some didn't. I kept firing as I could when it hit. He couldn't heal because it was magic hitting magic. Finally, it happened. I pulled the trigger one last time, and it broke the gun. It fell from my paw to the ground. The trigger shattered. I grabbed my mace and charged smashing him over and over as our weapons clashed.
You will bow to me!
I smirked, laughing.
No.
I looked to the orb. It was still glowing. I had a feeling I had to use it. As I grabbed it, I forced it out of the machine, holding it in my paw, and looked to him and kept attacking him with the mace as it was getting harder to fight him with the pain from the orb. I closed my eyes and smashed the orb into the face of the pony. He screamed, and suddenly, the entire area of the stable blew along with me there. After the flash was removed from my eye, the orb was beside me, but my arm was blown off. I looked to my friends. They were fine. Crow and Sand, still dead. I saw that he was back to normal. I grabbed my weapon and went to him. Very weak, but I felt I had to deal with him.
I was meant to be a god,
he sobbed as he was now fully transforming back into my species.
You're welcome. And die.
He screamed as I smashed the mace into him over and over. I screamed in anger and smashed his head down fully, till nothing was left. I stood up, looking to the orb. It was cracked, and now like a real crystal. I went over to Sand's body.
I wish I could be with you, Sand.
I laid my head near him. As I felt I was dying, the world started to go black. Dreams. I woke up, looking around. I felt that I was in a dream, and I looked to the ghoul that formed in front of me. He said with a gentle smile and walked over to me and sighed.
Turia, it's not your time yet, but when you do pass, I will be here to take you to the next world. It's the least I can do, even though you killed me.
I looked around and blinked.
Then why am I here?
The ghoul lifted his hoof, and the tree formed, and all the leaves were off but one.
You have 1 year to enjoy your life, Turia. I am here to let you know you didn't fail. The wasteland didn't beat you like you thought. You risked your life to protect your friends, even if Crow and Sand died. You are not ready to go. Please, use the rest of your life to help those that need you. Tell your friends to honor you with everything they do. Honor them, for when you die, you will only see them in the next world.
I sighed softly, looking down at my paws, and started to feel pain, and coughed.
I feel so much pain.
He smiled.
That is good. Take care, Miss Turia. I will see you in a year.
Stable. I opened my eyes and coughed as my body was in so much pain. I stood up, groaning, and opened the door and headed out to get the stable open. I spoke in the communication device.
It's me, Every Pony. Please, open the stable.
I fell to the ground as the stable opened, and they rushed to me. Day 70, 2 weeks later. I opened my eyes. I was laying in a hospital bed. I felt something attached to where my arm was, and felt the pitbuck on my other arm. I heard voices. One voice was Kip. It's been 2 weeks. I don't know if she will wake. Fleur then spoke.
I am sure she will. She is strong.
I softly spoke.
Kip? Fleur?
They both looked to me and rushed over.
You're awake!
Kip had tears in her eyes.
Fleur, go get them! Go get them!
Fleur nods and rushed out.
I feel like I'm in so much pain.
Kip had tears falling from her eyes and nuzzled me all over my hurting body.
Kip, Please, I hurt so much.
She giggled as the door opened up and Shadow and Silver ran in. They started to cheer, and Shadow had his wings wrapped up.
Hi.
I smiled weakly.
What happened?
Well, the Lightbringer beat the Enclave. She has control of a device that will bring the world back to normal, but it will take time. The Enclave is having a war with itself, and Philadelphia is free. I smiled softly.
I am happy to hear that. When will I see the sun?
Kip chuckles.
The sun will be out when she learns how to run the device.
I don't remember what happened.
What happened to Sand and Crow?
They go silent and look away. Same day, small graveyard. I was sitting in a wheelchair. They didn't let me walk, as every pony from the town was at the funeral for Sand and Crow. The one speaking was Ironclaw.
I didn't know these two very well. I met Sand after he shot me and brought Taria to me. He was very sweet and a kind friend to me. I loved how he treated Taria, even if she didn't love him at first. But I saw them fall in love. He was an interesting creature, but I never thought I would only meet them just to see him die. Crow, you could say he's the reason most of us are here. He was asked to follow Taria by the one known as Watcher. They both worked so hard to come and save her friends.
I was only watching, but I couldn't even watch anymore. I went away, and I heard a robotic voice.
Hello, Taria.
I looked over to see Watcher, and I sighed.
Hello, Watcher.
I looked up to the robot.
I heard what happened. It's on the news.
I turned on my pitbuck to hear it.
In other news, in a little town known as Freedom Town, the wolf risked her life to end a creature of the past. But doing so, she lost a friend and her mate. I know your pain, Miss Wolf. Keep fighting the good fight.
I turned it off and looked to Watcher.
Does it ever get any easier, Watcher?
Watcher stayed silent for a moment.
No, it doesn't. But keep them in your heart, and it gets easier to deal with. You can't save every pony, Taria, but you did what you could.
I looked down and then up to Watcher.
I understand that. Thank you, Watcher.
The robot went silent and it flew off, and Kip came over with Fleur, and they both leaned into me.
Pain. I feel pain in my heart. I hope that someday I will see them again.
A white unicorn comes up to me and stared at me.
I am Seeker. When you heal, I have a quest for you.
I stared at her, and she walked off and vanished.
I'm going to get some sleep. Good night, you two.
I slowly moved to my room. Fleur and Kip watched me so broken go in. I got out of the wheelchair and slowly got in my bed. So much pain. As I fell asleep, knowing that someday I will join them.